Welcome to the Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Anderson's Grill and Bar and Maeve's Bar Sligo.
Welcome. This is odd. I feel like I'm interviewing.
Who's going for the job here now?
Huh?
Yeah.
And tell me now what you can bring to this role in your whole. No, okay. First of all, a couple of things going through my head straight away. Welcome everyone to the brand new Kendy Raybo podcast studio.
You looking down the camera.
Yeah, you can look down that one there. The amount of money I spent on putting this all together.
Fair play to you. I didn't realise you were at it at all.
Oh, unbelievable, man. I built every drop. See every panel of wood there?
Yeah.
I built every drop of that.
It's brilliant.
Not unreal. And I'd never touched wood before in my life.
And if
man.
you want to see it, you have to sign up to the Patreon.
Sign up to the Patreon. You can watch our jaws or look at our non-existent TikTok clips as well. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is not at all. Brian McDermott built everything here, and this is actually the Sligo shows.
Yeah.
Now, John. Now you meant John.
You did, of course.
Second thing is we have two beers here, except for the three people. We're joined by the wonderful John Colleary.
That's the episode. Joined with John.
John by joined. So who was filming some stuff with us and said, you know what, sure, I'll stick around and have a bit of a chat with you. Yeah. So I guess launch it, John.
Launch it.
So I'm going to drink this and then we get into it. Now,
I have an inking problem.
That's all the stuff. That's what you're up against, lads.
Yeah.
That's why we'll never make it in this world.
Comedians.
That's what professional comedians do.
Yeah.
Now, John, talk to us for a minute now before we go any further.
Try and get off the ink. Sorry, go ahead.
How long have you been inking?
You off the ink?
Your man, did you hear your man's off
You
the
have an
ink?
ink this Christmas.
Yeah. No, I won't have an ink this Christmas now. No way.
See him.
Okay,
He's still on the ink. Did you see him at the weekend? Wrote off.
That's what professional comedians do.
He's very good now.
That's why we'll never make it.
Yeah.
Now, John, talk to us. You're flying.
I love this microphone. I feel like I'm an airplane pilot.
Yeah. I feel like I can't
Flying.
see it at all. You're flying. Talk to me, John. Here's the truth. Do you want to hear something now?
Yeah.
The best compliment that was ever given to any man. Do you want to hear us?
Certainly, surely do.
I was listening to another two-piece podcast. Tommy and Hector.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And Larissa.
And Larissa.
They're a
Yes,
three-piece.
She does be there as well.
They're a three-piece podcast.
Am I going to get cancelled now for saying
Yeah,
that?
you are.
For not
Not
acknowledging.
acknowledging the female input.
Well, they started out as Tommy and Hector. She was their producer on iRadio.
Yeah.
That's how it
that's
started.
true.
You'll be the guy who didn't recognise a three-piece and ended up as a one-piece.
No,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
in a metaphorical self or public. I always said this: the public court now is way worse than the criminal court.
Oh yeah.
So if I get prosecuted by the public court, fuck me. Anyway, this is what I was going to say to you. Hector was at the Galway Comedy Festival.
I met him at the gig, the tour show I did.
Yeah, in Galway.
In the Roisin Dove. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
Roisin
yeah.
Dove. Tommy said to him, who stood out like in the whole. He was there for 4 days after the festival. He said John Colleary.
Yeah, he was
knows.
very complimentary. I heard it actually. Someone sent Niall from Roisin Dove sent it to me.
Yeah.
The clip. So I was very.
No,
And rightly so.
Yeah, like of all the comedians
impressed.
out there, you're flying
Hector,
at the moment.
Hector's great, and yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, the tour was great, and the tour is great for. And I've never toured like that before. I've been on kind of mini things with other people, like maybe supports and stuff and lineups, but doing your own thing for 22 shows every weekend, a few shows every weekend, it really does sort of focus it a bit and get you to a point. By the time I hit the 20th one, for example, that's kind of when I thought, oh, this show is all right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could have done 20 more. But
And-
I'm afraid I didn't sell 20 more. I just went home at that point.
Well, you did though, aren't you?
Dribbling.
You were back in the Hawksville in January.
I'm in the
though,
Hawksville in January, on the 27th of January. So
You probably, unbeknownst to yourself, picked the worst night to do the Hawksville for
Did I?
someone like me who was going to go. I had bought tickets to your show. I said, I
This
don't
is the
care.
previous
the
one
World
now.
Cup
Yeah.
final.
Yeah. I said,
know.
I'm going to John Colleary. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going.
That's not what you
And
said
then,
now.
no, that's exactly what I said. I said, I don't care.
that's
Nothing
not-
in the world will
I
stop
think it was
me.
more like, Brendan, I thought I gave you the money for those tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was more like...
Well, that did happen. That's a different story, though. Brendan has this great way of telling you, come here, you didn't pay me for that, even though you probably did, in fact, pay me for that. Anyway, it was during the World Cup thing, and I had one of those Kendy's Sophie's Choice things going on, where I had to decide whether I was going to go, or the one thing that comes around every 4 years, which is the Rugby World Cup. I'm sorry, Jam Man, I picked the rugby.
I would have done the same.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
What do you call him?
If it
Jack
was-
Whitehall. Didn't he put it on? He put
the game on.
He
He
put
Put
the
the
game
last
on.
5 or 10 minutes of it on.
Yeah.
In the somewhere in Dublin.
Yeah, when they were playing.
Yeah.
I can't
Was he in
remember.
the Three Arena, was he?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they paid the license fee for that
Yeah.
or that,
No,
but
probably not.
he put
Was
it on
there-
anyway.
Is there a license fee? You couldn't put it on like...
Sure, you can't broadcast that into anyone unless you have
That's true.
He'd have to have it on in the Three with the little pub, the pint glass down the bottom corner that'd be
Because
on.
there's crack now with pubs putting on Christmas movies. do you know, doing Christmas nights and putting on like Die Hard up on the big screen while you're sitting there getting out of it, like.
Is that a Christmas film?
Oh, very much so,
joking,
Christmas movie.
right? I love the place. I was gigging at Maeve's Bar about 2 Wednesdays ago, like, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, why is no one? Well, not that they pass much heat in me anyway, but I've been there. Why is no one? Down the back on the big screen was Die Hard.
Yes.
And Nakatomi building
But
was
you-
falling while
you-
I was trying to play Dirty Old Town.
You'd find yourself sitting there just watching it.
Yeah, of course you would. It's the best Christmas film
It
of
is
all
much
time.
more entertaining than maybe some of the entertainment that might be on the pub.
Yeah.
Do you think Die Hard is a Christmas film?
I don't think it's a Christmas film, but I think it's filmed that's on at Christmas, isn't it?
No,
Does it happen on Christmas Eve?
Yes, it's
All right,
it's a
okay.
Christmas party in the Nakatomi
that's
Plaza
right.
on Christmas Eve.
Okay, all right.
So it's very much a Christmas movie.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I would say it's
I was
definitely.
watching a thing the other night, a documentary thing that's on Netflix. It's called Movies That Made Us.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of goes through a lot of very, very successful, popular flicks and goes through the background story of how they got made and how they eventually got made and how they were never going to get made at all. And people were going with Bruce. Bruce Willis, are you kidding me? Bruce Willis as an action hero? You kidding me?
Yeah.
And all these guys turned it down. The guy that wrote it kind of about something else. And then he had a row with his wife.
Oh.
And then he went for a drive and he realised that he was wrong.
Surrounded by terrorists.
And he was going, how can I tell this? How can I prove to this woman that I was wrong? Or how can I say I was wrong?
Yeah.
And that's when he got the idea for writing that film that way. And then everyone's going, Bruce Willis, are you kidding me? No way, Bruce Willis.
No one believed him.
Clint Eastwood turned the thing down. He's going, that's too wimpy.
Was he not a bit old at that stage for that sort of
Well,
part?
they all were a bit of. Frank Sinatra was the original
Get away.
idea because Frank Sinatra played a character in a film when he was maybe in his 40s or maybe 50, which was the natural predecessor to it. I can't remember the exact details, but he went, no, I'm 62, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Or I'm 60, whatever I
How did
am.
Liam Neeson get the shout?
I don't know. Was he kicking back then like he used
he
to
was
be?
doing Scottish folk heroes at the time, Rob Roy, etc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but it's funny though. That's the case with loads of films,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? Like what you call him? Sure, Rocky was never supposed to get made at all,
No.
wasn't it? Like
No.
you know,
No.
and then he ends up making what, maybe 10 of them or
He had to
something.
make it
like
himself.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
he?
he had to make it himself.
Yeah.
I do wonder though. Would you get away with some of this shite? I love films where you have to leave your brain at the door. I've said that before. Like so when you watch a Rocky film, it doesn't really matter. But I don't think you get away with making a Rocky film the same way that they did back then. First of all, with the bad sound effects. Like,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
like an old Batman joke. Like,
Yeah.
pow, kapow.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also the
yeah,
fact
yeah.
that, like, it was so unrealistic when you see Rocky getting uppercut into the jaw. Like, that's something that would kill a man.
Kill somebody, anybody, yeah.
Yeah, but
Sadly, we're more educated now. I think it's ruined
that's the
everything.
problem. That's what I was just going to say. We're far
Yeah.
too educated for all this stuff now. And we can't turn our brains off.
I
like
don't
we
know if
used
it's
to.
maybe educated, but also I think that there's a thing with people's willingness to believe anything back
Yeah.
in the day,
Yeah.
or your willingness to go, I know that that's not, but
But you switch off.
but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to go, hey, that can't happen.
Yeah.
Because Mork and Mindy, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch, there's this fella and he's getting, or whatever, he's living in the attic and he's an alien. And I thought he was an alien.
Yeah,
There's no
That
yeah.
fella's
problem.
an alien.
Yeah.
Most people thought David Bowie was an alien. He's from space.
Yeah.
He just happens to be a musician.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
he's from space.
So actually, we have too much information
Too much
nowadays, and we're
information.
kind of going, that's not true. That'll
Yeah,
never
yeah.
happen.
We tried last night, Steph and Laura, we tried to
Go
watch
on.
a Christmas movie.
Well, you tried, go on.
A new Christmas movie.
Go on.
I think it's called Family Switch. Jennifer Garner, Ed Helms is in it, and 2 kids.
Yeah.
And
2 kids.
I won't
Oh,
lie.
that's sick, right? That's a horror film. That's sick.
And I won't lie to you, we got 38 minutes into it, no. And
Yeah.
we couldn't. What happened was, apparently due to a cosmic event, the mother and father, which are Jennifer Garner and Ed Helms, their consciousness switched into the 2 kids.
Oh.
And then the kids switched into the adults.
Oh, it was a classic switcheroo movie.
Switcheroo, and
Freaky
the dog,
Friday job.
The dog and the baby switched
Look who's
as
talking.
well. So the
Yeah, look who's all
something very
yeah.
like that.
So a dog.
But this was done before.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there was Freaky Friday or something.
That's one of the
Yeah.
classics. Is the old switcheroo film. It's
switcheroo,
like
yeah.
but they have to get tiresome. I don't think you can make Christmas films anymore. And
You think it's done?
I just think
There's
that
no more
again,
plots.
no more than what we were saying there. I think the magic is gone. Maybe that's just because we're getting
Yeah,
old.
I don't know. But I'm even a different generation to you.
Yeah,
And
you definitely are. No, I'm joking.
I am.
Yeah.
But I agree with
What
that.
was your Christmas
Yeah.
movie growing up?
Oh my God.
He doesn't want to say it. No.
Go on, say
Christmas
it.
movies? I don't know, man. Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that was a big one. That's always on Christmas Day.
I watched the thing full on.
Yeah.
Every time.
Would have been the
Gene
Muppets
Wilder,
version of
Muppets,
something.
one Muppet movie maybe.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka, Great Escape. Always.
Great Escape, but that's the war movie.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, yeah, I know
It's
the
always
one.
on at Christmas.
Yeah, it's very good.
Love that film.
Build the tunnels.
Can watch it from any point
Yeah.
to the end. Doesn't matter where it is. Even from the start.
I
can watch it from the start to the end.
Can you watch from the start to the finish?
I really do.
Yeah.
I always,
Yeah.
there's Great
But yeah,
Escape. I know where this is at now.
There used to be a time as well on telly because you wouldn't have the Netflix.
Yeah.
And you'd just drop into a film. Like it could be that one with Harrison Ford when he's the president to take over the plane.
Air Force
you could,
One, is
Yeah,
it?
you could drop in any time in that film, know exactly what's going on, and delighted
But
to be
stay
there.
with it.
Yeah.
That's the secret, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
Entertainment.
Like, let's say if so Deck the Halls, right? Did you ever see that film, Deck the Halls, with Danny DeVito?
Danny's DeVito.
So if that was on Netflix, I can guarantee you I'll never watch it ever. But it was on TV during the week. Me and Nicholas sat down and watched the whole thing.
Of course, yeah.
But we'd never sit down and pick that film because
No.
there's so much choice.
Yeah.
And that was the great thing, like even with the Saturday movies that used to be on, you know.
Yeah.
I just see now every Sunday after I'm finished watching JA, right?
Yeah.
There's a Bond film on.
Yeah.
Is there?
And I'd never go. I might watch that Bond film from 1986, like Doctor No or whatever. But when it's on, you just go, well, fuck it, I better watch it now because it's actually on. Like,
You feel invested then.
you do feel a little bit invested, until your daughter starts screaming at you to put Miss Rachel on or the Duckies or something. I know it's terrible. Fuck me. You can't watch anything anymore, John, honestly. My TV is gone now. Like, you know what used to be that I would put a phone in front of her for the first couple of months or whatever, that with like shapes and all. Like, but she's 15 months now and she won't watch the phone anymore. She's like, no, put it on the big 60-inch. I'm not watching this shit.
Could you put two tellies in the living room?
Now, I have a friend who did put two tellies in the living room. But it's even sadder than him trying to watch TV. He plays PlayStation on it while his two kids watch.
Him playing PlayStation?
No, they watch something else.
Oh, they watch something else.
Beside themselves. But that's the modern man, lads.
That's the modern man.
Jesus.
It's it's part and parcel of being a father.
I love it when
nowadays.
you go to hotels.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of the town that you're in on the telly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And then I think that's brilliant because now I don't have to go out.
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Just like looking out the window.
An aerial shot
that's
of the whole thing. The big thing now in hotels, as you saw, Ray, is that there is actually Netflix and stuff.
Yeah, but
in
it
these.
can be very bad because, as I said, someone watching stuff, Selling Sunset on my Netflix for 2
Yeah.
weeks after
I
I
watched
left.
that. I watched all of it.
It
Did
is
you?
very good.
I watched all of it during the whole. The
Now,
pandemic was a different
It's
time
nothing
for
to do with the
everybody.
girls in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more the drama.
It's just like I'm going to watch this. And talk about wanting to be distracted. This was like 2020, 2021. Myself and Janet, I went, what's Selling Sunset? And she's going, Selling Sunset. I was going, what's that? It's about this. I was going,
Yeah.
Then I started watching it. I was going, oh,
Yeah.
look what's going on with her now.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's nothing worse than that.
$2 million for the house. $25 million. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's nothing
Just
worse than
nonsense.
when you get
Great.
caught by that though. Like I always make fun of whatever television program Nicola's watching.
Yeah.
So day one, I'm wrecking her head. Look at the state of this one. Let's say if it's The Crown.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at this fucking Diana. Hope nothing happens to her. You know, messing, joking,
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
kind of crap. Then day two, I'm like, who's your man? Nick?
Yeah,
What's he even doing in the show? Like, and then day three, I'm like, did they end up together or not?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I you
I
can't
can see you
help.
crying after her getting...
Definitely not. I won't be
Yeah.
crying to the
Would
crowd,
you not?
but for
Oh,
sure,
you've
no.
spoiled it now. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like I said that. It's like Jesus, John. I said it's like Jesus Christ Superstar. You can't do a spoiler on something like that everyone knows what happens. Like
Very bad happens.
I was just thinking of something else there about when you were talking about Stallone and Rocky, and he is a documentary about his life out now, and it's on Netflix, same as Arnie.
Sly.
Arnie and Sly, like they did when I was a teenager. They battled it out for being, you know, if you have that
big dick.
sword, I'll have this sword,
Yeah.
whatever. So they have a documentary out at the same time as well, obviously. But I thought was one really thing that stood out was Arnie talking about Predator. Was it Predator? No, Terminator. Terminator? Yeah, Terminator, yeah. Talking about Terminator and talking about casting and talking about the fact that they didn't necessarily want him to be. They were looking around at other actors and so on, James Cameron. And he said that they went to OJ. And OJ didn't get the part. And Schwarzenegger said, very deadpan on the documentary, said, you know, OJ didn't get the part and because they didn't think that he had the killer instinct. And then he went, yeah.
hell?
Yeah.
You know OJ is on Twitter now.
Is he?
Sometimes you have to forget that, like, and I don't know the full OJ story, but like, so
Not a good story.
yeah, but like, where do you decide then that someone is allowed back into society? So let's say OJ now is out and free.
Yeah.
So isn't he free to do the same things that we all do? But like, I still find it kind of ironic or funny that like he's tweeting like, "Oh, tried to make a pasta bake. Oh, disaster." You know what I mean?
Okay,
He's just like tweeting normal, and you're like, how are you allowed to tweet normal stuff?
Well,
you know?
Well, he didn't get.
Did he get prosecuted?
He didn't get. He got away with murder. He got away. He got.
Was it manslaughter or something?
No, he didn't get any of that.
So he didn't get prosecuted for that at all?
He was. What's the fucking word?
Exonerated.
Acquitted.
Yeah, acquitted. Yeah, yeah.
He was acquitted of
We had
murder.
all the words.
We had
there.
three
Yeah.
words.
He was acquitted of the murder charge of 2 people: his wife, his ex-wife, and this guy.
And the fella, yeah.
And it was fairly.
Obvious.
There was lots of evidence.
Lots of evidence.
And then the guy that he killed, his dad, was on a crusade then to bring OJ down, and I think he worked really hard, and they nicked him on a couple of things completely outside of.
Was it stealing medals?
He was stealing his own, he got tick with somebody over his own memorabilia.
Yeah.
And he got done for the largest, like John Gilligan, for example.
Yeah.
He got put away for the longest possible
Time that you could for that.
For that crime.
Yes.
But it was almost like
Yeah, it was saying, we didn't get you for this.
A substitute for the original crime.
Oh, right, because I always wondered
OJ did quite a. I'm not sure how long he did.
He didn't get on well after
He
that.
did 12. He did 15 years.
Yeah.
12,
Karma got him.
He was.
Well, I mean, like I said, right now he's out living his life.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. No, I don't know where he is, right?
loneliness and then pasta bake treats.
Yeah, but maybe there is maybe the pasta bake. I don't know if he did make a pasta
That's
bake.
tough
That was
on
just an
someone,
example.
though, if he's not
But I
managing
guarantee you, right? Even though I don't know, I guarantee you OJ is golfing every day in Florida. I just guarantee you that's what he's doing. And you know,
possible, yeah.
he gave up 15 years of his life for it. Like, but is it enough though? And like when people come out, there's a great TikTok page of a guy, right? And this is Irish too, by the way. It's in England and Ireland. This guy, I don't know how he gets away with this. He waits outside prisons, like Mountjoy or places in England and Liverpool and all that. And he just waits for guys to come out the gate. And then he sticks a camera and a mic in their face straight away. And he says, how long were you in for? How did you get out? What did you do? And then what are you going to do right now, like? And it's actually riveting because
it's in the moment then, is it?
He's like, how long were you in for? And your man just got his tracksuit back that he had for,
15 years
20
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
The blood's still on it.
puts it on and he's like, lovely, the free world, no one knows me now. And then next thing how yeah? And then they'll say, oh, look, it was serious assault, 15 years I did, like.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what are you going to do now? And he's like, I might see if my family are still around or whatever, like some of these people are just left there, like,
It must be fascinating.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, for anyone who does a stint in jail like that, like, fucking hell. And I grew up in a prison town, like in Castlereagh.
Yeah.
And I've been in there on plenty of occasions. Speaking of Christmas, I might have told this story already, right? Maybe I told it to both of you, I don't know. 15 years of age, our music teacher said to us, guys, I have a gig in school, like, we're going to be doing like a carol service, but I can't tell you where yet, like.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh, where is this? And then
He thought around the late date.
she was like, I was like, oh my God, we're doing the toy show.
Yeah.
Didn't we fuck, man? It was more like a Folsom prison job. So eventually said to us, look, we're going to go into Castlereagh prison. You have to get searched on the way in. They let us into the room about me and 13 girls, because that was all that was in our music class, like,
I could see where you were there.
Well, I mean, I was still the one that they were all looking at all the time. Anyway,
That's an awful joke.
maybe about it's not. It's
true though.
Well, did I say it, Ray? Anyway, it doesn't matter. 300 prisoners, and then us up, and about 2 prison officers just standing at the door going. And we did a gig like we were Johnny Cash, and we did Fairy Tale New York and all that kind of
Where
crack.
can I download that on Spotify?
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to know if there was any video. I mean, there shouldn't be video. Like, there shouldn't be the people. Keep it going, lads. Hey, like the phone up. They're not supposed to have that. But I also did a tour of Portlaoise prison before, like, where I remember this guy who continuously said to me, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. He was like, I bed by bed now and all that. But all I saw in Portlaoise and Castlereagh was people playing pool, PlayStation, and living in housing estates.
In the time when you were, I know I've done a few things in there myself.
Have you?
Yeah, we've done workshops and stuff like that. Mountjoy and not Castlereagh, Midlands Prison. Some great crack, like in amongst, we did about 4 of them, 4 workshops where you go in and there's 7 or 8 guys and they all kind of do a little bit of writing and a bit of performing, and we have a gig at the end of it. It was great. It was great for morale, I think.
So lads, they get up and do.
They do 3 minutes stand up. Yeah, some of them. It's just like any law of averages. Like 10 people, 2 of them were really good.
Yeah.
It's like
2
our
of
class
them.
in
2 of
national
them
skill.
were. 2 or 3 of them were very confident, but not good at actually writing stuff.
Yeah.
And then a few of them weren't good at all, but just did it to go through the motions.
Yeah.
But it was really good, and it's interesting, just interesting to do that and see that side of it. And we went in there first in 2015. I see them every year for a few years, and then didn't see them for a few years. Then went back in and met them. I was going, God, these guys are getting old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're getting old in prison.
Yeah.
I thought that only struck me. I was going, fuck.
And
That guy's a stone heavier now, and he's gone a bit grey.
Yeah. Sure, so have we.
I know, yeah, but they're doing that in the nick.
I know.
That's not.
No,
even a
I know
thing,
what you're saying though. In the funny that.
Doing your time, basically.
Yeah, you're doing your time, because let's say you go in and then you come back 10 years later. Like you think, oh, I'm doing this workshop that might help these people.
Yeah.
But you still come back in 10 years and they're still there. They're still in the same place. Like, so you're only, not to minimize it, you're kind of
just a blip.
You're biding time with them. You're
It's
going
a blip, yeah.
Yeah, you're going. Fuck it. This might be 6 weeks that they might get something out of. Like,
and it made me think of something else there as well about doing stuff for some lad sent me a card from the homeless services in Dublin. I think it was Christmas before last, during the pandemic. You mightn't remember me. I was reading. I didn't hear his accent, but I'm assuming. I'm assuming he was saying, "You mightn't remember me, but you met me up at the thing. He sent me a lovely card. That was great that you done that." Nah. Like, I don't know how he found me. Address or anything like
that's
that.
a bit more worried, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Fuck you, like.
Yeah, he sent me to my home address, but you know the way it is in Sligo, like all you have to say, John Colleary, Sligo.
Yeah, they're both spending a chop in.
Oh, that's John.
Yeah.
But another lad is one thing that stays with me, and every time I see them, the things I'm going to tell you about, I always think of it, because I did a residential homeless thing up around the Dorset Street, up at the church there. And we did a thing there one day, and I had a laugh, and a fella said to me on the way out, he says, "Thanks for doing that. It's important that we, you know what I mean, important for up here that you do. It's important, you know what I mean? And, whatever you do," elbowed me, and he held out his hand to my hand. "Don't lose your marbles," he said. And he dropped 2 marbles into my hand. And I went, "I'll never lose them."
No.
And they're everywhere I go. They're in a particular space.
You keep them?
I kept them. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't lose your marbles."
Right.
So I'm not going to lose them.
Are you not worried that he learnt that from someone and just said, "Oh, that'd be cool. I'll do that to everybody"?
I don't give a rat's what he did. He just went, "Don't lose your marbles." He gave me 2 marbles. First of all, I thought, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to keep
Fuck
them.
it, I will keep them.
I'm not going to lose those marbles.
Jesus. Is that true that you actually did that? Because I'd be far more cynical than you. I'd be like, that bollocks. Someone told him to do that, the prick. Yeah. You know?
But sometimes I go, and I think it's funny that I go, "Oh, where's my marbles?" And I go, "Oh, there they are." Thank God I haven't lost my marbles.
Yeah, and I'm losing my car keys every fucking day. There's not a chance I'd hold on to 2 marbles. John, I'm worried that you need to go.
Yeah.
No, that you have to know. I mean, it's up to you. I want to wrap up and see actually what you're doing with yourself going forward. I know you're doing a gig in the Hawkswell. So this is the one question I did want to ask you. Did you film any of the stuff that you done?
I did. I've shot a few bits on my own G7.
Oh,
and,
G7,
big sound,
have you?
G7.
And I recorded a lot of them on the phone, audio-wise, because I needed to just hear. But as far as recording something and making
you didn't make a Netflix special.
I didn't make a special out of it, but I'm going to do that in the future. I'm going to organise that properly, because
Savage.
all of the logistics of that were beyond me this time.
Yeah.
I just went, I don't want to get involved in that. I had only a certain amount of brain space. I thought, I'll just do these gigs, I'll do this tour, I'll shoot bits for myself, I'll look back at them and so on. So I'll post a few bits. But in terms of shooting the thing proper, that's another time.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
And the reason I asked that though is because I'm interested to see how in tune you are nowadays with the idea that you need content.
I am very in tune with that, and I'm very glad to have not been engaging with content for the last month since that tour finished, because I did try and pump it as much as I could in the time of that tour. Got a decent Instagram thing going, and obviously not now, but I'll be going back to that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know it's a necessity. But it's a little bit, for someone who fucking didn't engage with any of that until the age of 40.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like you're doing, you've seen the stand-up scene in Ireland for what? Maybe 20 years?
20 years.
Yeah?
It's just 21 years actually.
So 21 years you've seen that scene in Ireland now, and all of a sudden in the last, like really hypered up in the last 3 years.
Since the pandemic.
Since
everybody
the
was
importance of being on Instagram, Reels and TikTok.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
And
massively.
especially for comedians. And maybe I've only seen it from an American perspective, but all of a sudden these American comedians are blowing up all over the place.
Yeah.
And then there's guys who've done it for 20 years going, shit, I wish I put a video up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's happening.
That's what's happening. And it has to be. Somebody said something to me recently, and I can't remember who it was, and it was the simplest comment. And we were talking about Instagram and talking about posting. And he said, yeah, sure, everything makes sense on Instagram. And I thought that's the most definitive comment about the whole thing. Because you could put up a picture of a duck fucking winding a clock.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, oh,
yeah.
Or a building blowing up.
Yeah.
A building blowing up.
Yeah.
It all makes sense
Yeah.
on that platform.
Yeah, there is, and there's
10
lanes.
seconds.
There's actually lanes for everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, so even if let's say you're doing a show for 200 people in the theatre, who hopefully most of them are there to see you anyway, but if they weren't, if you put something up on TikTok or Instagram, it'll find the lane.
That's right.
It'll actually find the lane.
Intuitively goes.
Yeah, it'll tune in.
To where it's going to be.
Yeah,
where
it'll tune into the people who it knows are going to try and find that content.
That's right.
So it's actually the most wide open area. Me and Ray are thinking about it a lot now lately as well, which is why we video all this stuff, not just people on
We think
Patreon.
about it mostly.
We think about it a lot.
Thinkogram.
But maybe we could all think together at some stage and try and come up with something.
Yeah. I've been trying. I actually haven't been trying. I've been thinking about trying for a long time. I have ideas, and I had a little studio out in Ballister, and I was trying to get stuff, trying to get to a point where I could be in it every day, and it just didn't happen. Because I wanted to do stuff every day.
Yeah.
I want to still.
Yes.
Trying to get that fucking
Well,
time.
the funny thing is, like, me giving you advice is an absolute fart in a hurricane. But the one thing I'd say is, what I've noticed on TikTok and Instagram now is, why I asked you, do you video your stuff? 30 seconds.
That's all. That's all.
No, but I mean 30 seconds of you on stage, John.
That's all it needs.
One little tiny bit. Quick joke. Have you watched Carl Spain doing it
that's
lately?
it. Yeah,
he's fucking all over it.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
He's all over it. And it's 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
That's all it needs to be. That's all people want.
That's all people want.
I watched it because I watched so much TV and shit over the years and movies. I'm just talking about that earlier, I suppose. But I watched stuff that gets made today, and it's in the same lane as stuff I watched when I was much younger, documentary wise, movie wise, and they've changed the attack point of making the thing has changed in that it has to be littered with smaller bits. It can't be a long, here's the story, bit by bit, people talking. It has to be
absolutely
all that.
Yeah.
Even if it's a serious topic.
Yeah. Oh, even if it's a serious topic. Yeah.
Really quick images, really quick kind of pushing a point home without having to sit there, because people lose.
Yeah. I mean, I said that to you, this won't make sense to everybody, but we were talking about jump cuts and stuff in video, and me and you were both saying, people don't give a shit about that anymore.
No.
They just want it quick. So a jump cut would be if I'm talking here now, and you want to cut out something I say, but the camera is still on me.
Yeah.
And so you just do a cut, and it just
crash,
I just jump, and I'm saying something else all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's like a big no-no in filming. But nowadays, people are like, I don't care about that, because you have to give me the content quick.
Yeah.
That's sad, though, isn't it?
But that's what it is. It's just it's the change in.
It's definitely.
But the reason for that, well, there's 100 different reasons. Everything's true all at once. Is because you're competing with so much else as well.
There's just so much content.
There's so much, but there's definitely content for boys sitting in Sligo to be. There's a lane for us, isn't there?
The slow lane.
John, thanks so much for joining us for that. Fair play to you,
No,
boy. That was a pleasure. And we'll be back with you once we get John out of the room, and we'll keep chatting, Ray, won't we?
We'll take a break at that now. That's over the first half.
Lovely.
Over.
First half over.
We've never done that in the podcast before.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Fair play to John. That was a bit impromptu, but he's always an interesting boy to talk to, I have to say.
Enjoy him, in fairness.
No, I do. Like, I think there's something about John Colleary that is, I don't know, it's not very intimidating, is it?
No,
like, as in,
very
like,
softly spoken.
he's so softly spoken, and he also doesn't come across like John is famous. Like,
He is very famous. He's one of the best comedians in the country.
well, as Hector said, he actually is he blew the Galway Comedy Festival away. Like,
He's fighting show on the
so
road.
he is. I'm not sure. Is he doing one for
27th of January in the Hawkswell.
But is he doing something for in February as well for the So Funny Comedy Festival?
Couldn't tell
We
you.
must announce that we're doing.
Are we? You all right there?
No, we're doing the So Funny Comedy Festival again in February.
That's nice.
Yeah, did you know that?
No.
Now, can we talk a bit, because I'm in panic mode again, that we're doing the show on the 20th.
Don't worry about it.
Why?
Laura has it all sorted out.
Well, what's she doing?
Loads of stuff.
No, but I mean...
She's the whole show.
But is she
down.
selling tickets?
She's not selling tickets.
Right, okay, well that's
She
all I'm
doesn't need
worried
to sell
about.
tickets.
The show is going to be grand.
Yeah.
We always do an alright show.
Loads of games for us.
Yeah, lovely.
Christmas games.
Yeah, that's great, 'cause there's going to be a Christmas deluxe extravaganza.
Yeah.
We have the Kendy Raybo house band there.
Yeah.
It's on the 20th of December, which is a Wednesday night, not
Wednesday
a Thursday.
night.
But it's 5 days before Christmas, and it'll be savage crack.
What will you?
I am a little bit worried that we're like, I can't stress this enough. This is Brendan too, by the way, who's not here. James is flicking the keys clean off himself again
Can't
in
even
this
see
wonderful
James.
studio.
This is really weird.
Isn't it unreal? Brian McDermott, what a job he done.
It's lovely.
Like, isn't this unreal?
He turned an average classroom into a studio.
He did. The only problem is there's nothing in my box room anymore.
Oh.
I still had to bring everything down. The set's all here, lads, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Brian, if I were you now, I'd get everything.
Invest a few things
in
that you have.
everything.
Yeah.
in the actual expensive stuff, the cameras and the laptops and all that. Now, what I was going to say was, we're the worst marketers in the history
We're
of any
not.
podcast.
I guarantee you.
No,
There'll be
we
over
are.
150 people at that live show.
Okay, if there is, that's going to be great. But I was chatting to a gentleman. I don't know if he'll. No, I'm not going to say his name just in case he doesn't want me to.
Right.
But he edits one of the biggest podcasts in the country.
Oh.
Right. And when he told me, it was number one on my Spotify Wrapped, you guys.
Oh, wow.
So he's part of the editing team that does. What's it called? How do I not know what it's called when it's number one? The Sunday World Crime podcast, like.
Never heard of
it. The Nicola Talent's podcast.
Right, never heard of her.
Unbelievable. It's the best crack you'll ever see, because you know when it's a small country like Ireland and you hear about all these crimes and stuff, you're like, jeez, that's mad. Anyway, he edits her podcast, but he also talked to me about these guys that were up north called the Bomb Squad.
Who are they now?
Another two-piece.
Are they a wedding band?
No, another two-piece podcast.
Oh,
right?
they're a podcast?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I know who you're on about. Right? I don't listen to them, but how do I know who he's on about?
How do you know that?
Because I'm seeing them every day.
How so?
TikTok and Instagram, Ray.
Ah.
Oh, you're right,
We've
actually.
been there, we've done that.
Fuck it, we tried that.
We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, it worked like
It
quite
helped.
well, actually. And then
It
we said,
helped,
fuck
and then
it.
we were happy with what we got.
Then we were kind of happy with stagnating completely for a year and a half.
Contentment is a great thing.
No, but what I'm saying is, he said to me, geez, the boys are class and they're putting out serious content. And I was like, yeah, they are, actually. And I felt like going, geez, we are doing nothing, like,
But
really.
that's look, standing to us.
How is it standing to us,
You'll
Ray?
see.
No one listens to us.
They do. Loads of people listen
No,
to it.
loads of people do listen, and we
Yeah.
very much appreciate those people
Yeah.
as well.
You
But
know
like,
who you are as you're listening right now.
yeah, like there is whatever a couple thousand people that listen to us, right? But let's just say that. Don't say it more. But let's say there's a couple thousand people that listen to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that not 20,000 or 40,000 or 100,000 or 200,000? Why isn't there 3 million people listening? Why am I president? Why, you know what I mean?
Not a why
Why
is
am
there,
I not on Love Island? Why am I not getting asked to go on I'm a Celebrity and A Cockroaches? Why? Do you know, we've been doing this for 5 years now, Ray.
Are you expecting something different by doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Nah, that's a
But that's
definition
I'm
of
not.
insanity.
I'm saying we have to start doing something. We have to start doing something, Ray.
We will.
No,
Not-
but we won't.
not-
Stop saying we're going to do something. We're
not
not going to
now.
do something. Why not
No,
now?
well, you see, you're confused.
There's no time like the Kendy.
You're talking about doing something, but you're talking about it at the wrong time.
When?
At the moment, we're supposed to be doing what we're recording a podcast.
I'm trying to let the people in, Ray. I'm trying to let them have a little look in through a peephole.
Well, you know
Little
what-
glory hole, except for there's not a Mickey coming out through the glory hole, Ray. There's a big load of facts, right?
you
An
don't-
inside scoop.
You told me before you're not supposed to let people see behind the curtain.
Actually, I know you're messing there,
No,
but I probably
I'm-
did
you
say
did,
that at some
you
stage,
did,
though.
you
You
did.
don't want to let them in on everything,
Yeah.
Ray. But
not
we're
a very-
wide open men, Ray. I've been wide open my whole life.
Not a very
That's
good
why I'm all,
marketing
do you know what I
campaign.
mean? Yeah, I
It's
know.
sitting here saying how we're so shite at the marketing.
Yeah, but that is a good marketing campaign, though.
Is it?
Because now they're
People
going to be
take
like,
pity on us?
yeah, people are going to be like, I must tell 100 friends to have to listen all the time for the rest of their lives.
Oh, can we do
Big
one-
shout out to Orla, by the way, who I met she said to me, I know this is kind of your worst nightmare. You've always said that you hate meeting people. And I said, it's not that at all, Orla Lovey. It's that I just feel like a prick. You're going to be like, oh, I bet you he's great crack. And then I turn out to be a wanker. That's my big fear. But fair play to you. It was nice to meet you, Lovey.
All right.
Met her in Maves. How are you
Sorry,
keeping?
I dropped
Yeah.
my biro there now.
You're all right. You've never held a biro on this podcast.
Exactly.
This whole room has changed you
It's
something
really
fierce.
weird. Like, you know what happens to us when we do things in different places.
Yeah.
It takes us at least an episode to realise that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So
may
may never see the light of day.
Now, Ray, on top of that as well, I'm very sorry for going on that rant there now, but
It's all right, no, I
having
understand.
talked to John there as well,
Yeah.
it lit a fire in my tits.
I could see that.
And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to bring this up and see if we can get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But I really like your outlook.
Yeah, take it easy.
Be all right.
Yeah, be grand.
Don't be worried about any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, don't be worried about it. What's
Have
for
you-
you won't pass you.
Have you ever heard of the phrase, if you build it, they will come?
Look it.
Did you watch Field of Dreams?
I watched Wayne's World.
Wait, was that in Wayne's World as well? Oh,
Kinda.
Wayne's World 2.
Yeah,
when they were building the festival.
If you book them, they will come.
Yeah.
Which now I actually realise it is actually a rip-off of Kevin Costner film. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a rip-off of Field of
I didn't
Dreams.
realise
but that
that.
whole film is a rip-off of
Jeez, I
everything.
love Field of Dreams.
Oh my God, Field of Dreams. What? That used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Because there were ghosts.
Because your man was
Sorry,
walking. Yeah,
spoiler.
Oh, another spoiler there.
That's ruined it for the kids.
Because they'd be walking through the cornfields and everything. And I'd be like, oh no, they're going to eat it. But whatever. That just scared the shit out of me. Anyway, the whole point is, we need to be doing a little bit more. And we're going to try our best. The other thing I wanted to say, and funnily enough, speaking of content going out, this is on me and me only. Okay? The last 2 episodes were not on Patreon.
You have a lot of explaining.
Yeah, so there's going to be 3 episodes, 3 video episodes this week going up onto Patreon.
3 for the price of 1.
Yeah, because
Best
obviously
Christmas deal you'll see since Black Friday.
yeah, but as you heard, I had to send my computer in.
Did you get it fixed?
Yeah, I went back in and your man was like sweating. I went back in, right? And you know, like when something bad happens to someone and they're crying at the bottom of the shower.
Yeah.
That's what he was like when I went in.
It was tough.
Yeah, he was like, it was so deep. Which is funny because sometimes he was like, it took us, they were just about to wipe the computer after about 10 days and eventually they managed to work it out.
To work it out.
But fuck me, don't download rugby games from 2008.
Do you get to keep it?
Keep the
hardware on a USB stick.
They put it in a little vase.
They put it in a USB stick in a vase.
Just in case.
That's your hardware.
Just
you want
yeah, it's like
onto
if you
it.
get your kidneys out, or not your kidneys, your appendage.
But if you don't like someone now, you could give them that. It's a great song on that USB stick. Give it a listen. That's it. Gone.
If I could say anything, if anyone ever says to you there's a great song on that USB stick, say to them, excuse me, like it's 2024 or 2023.
Yeah, well, I was getting songs on USB sticks the last couple of weeks. That's like was
yeah,
talent.
but you're getting the
Yeah,
and
back
Ryan
on track.
Scanlon won it.
Ryan Scanlon
Fair
was the
play to
victor
you,
of
Ryan
the
Lovey.
night. And fairness, it was a very close fight.
Close.
I can honestly have said they could nearly have all have a chance of winning it.
No.
Like. Yeah. That was a
if-
very diplomatic thing of me to say, but I genuinely believe it.
They all had lovely bottoms on the night.
On the night. That
On
was
the night,
case,
everyone had lovely
Ryan
bottom.
had the nicest bottom.
Ryan
on the night.
had the
Yeah.
nicest bottom of the ball. No, fair play to you, Ryan. That's great. So 100 grand.
100 grand. He
Unbelievable.
walked away with it that night in cash, and he gave it to me in the bar.
Yeah, unreal.
It was literally the float.
It was like Squid Game. It was all up in a big piggy bank. Have you been watching it?
No.
I know I said it like, what?
No.
Why?
Why? Why would I watch it?
You just talked to John about watching Sunset Boulevard. What's it called?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
But how
Selling
can you?
Sunset.
What?
I'm
you
aware
watch
that
such
Squid Game
weird
is there,
shit. Oh,
right?
it's class.
Right?
It's class.
Eric Roberts in it. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
But at the moment, my life is overtaken at the moment with a particular show called The Sopranos.
Oh, you're starting to watch that?
Not starting. I am balls deep in it.
Okay, so I said to a guy called James McManus one time last week.
Who happens to be flicking the keys himself?
Oh yeah, it just so happens that he's behind that curtain there. I said to him, I'm dead inside, James.
Yeah.
Right? He said, it's a bit tough to say to be outside Flinders Creek. It's like, oh, okay.
Why
with this
would
piss and
you be
rain.
dead inside?
Because I was trying to explain to him that Squid Game was unreal.
Yeah.
And the way I explained it to him was by saying, James, I'm dead inside. I can't enjoy anything anymore. And I'm
Is it that good?
No, and I'm really enjoying Squid Game. So I was like, I can't believe I found something I enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
And James McMahon said to me, hey, whoa. He said,
Yeah.
if you're dead inside, start watching The Sopranos, he
That's
said.
tremendous.
So I must, you're the second person now in the last week that's been...
Only thing I'll fault of it is that sometimes it
A lot of this, hey,
Yeah, there's a lot
hey,
of-
come on, you guy, hey. That's
Yeah.
racist now.
There's a lot of
but it's
that.
all right to be racist against
The Italians.
The Italians.
Italians don't, but Irish don't
And
mind.
it's all right to be, the Irish
Italians
don't mind, the Italians don't mind.
The Ethiopians have absolutely no issue with it.
Do they not? How
No.
have you talked to them? You
Yeah,
have.
many in Ethiopian have said, don't worry.
There's a certain amount of them. I watched a fella go walk around, it must have been California, whatever, but amongst the Mexican community, dressed in a sombrero, and he had like one of those shawls on.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, are you offended by me going, and they were like, no, I couldn't give a shit. It's only certain. I won't get into the certain people
let's
maybe
not talk
that
about
are.
certain people that don't enjoy it.
No. There is
The
certain people
Sopranos,
that
there's,
don't-
there's certain storylines that just don't follow up.
Why?
I don't know. Just all of a sudden, it's just that we don't want to talk about that anymore. So they'll do a storyline and something, and then it'll just disappear.
What?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Like, for example, one of the days, they did a whole storyline about the daughter,
Right.
Tony Soprano's daughter.
Hey,
Tony's
my daughter.
She was doing a song at like in the school.
What was she doing? This is the life.
She was
in
doing
McDonald's.
She was doing a song with another lad. Now it turns out the other lad's out lad owed Tony Soprano a lot of money.
Islands in the Stream.
Something
Duet.
along the lines of that.
Yeah, so I have to know.
So the young lad anyway got the car taken off him because the father had to pay the money back to Tony, so he gave him the car. Anyway, bottom line is, it turned out the man then says, "Feck you, Meadow," which is Tony's daughter. I'm not doing a song with you now. That was the last we heard of that situation.
But that's
we don't know. Did she sing on her own? Did they have to put someone else in at the show?
How deep do you want to go
I
into
just
all
thought.
these?
I mean, it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, because
storyline.
So those storylines eventually do have to stop. Like, you know, if you're watching ER,
Yeah.
and George's Clooney says, "I'm going to go home now and have a big, massive." They're not going to follow him home to see that either. Do you know what I mean?
True.
You have to eventually stop the storyline. That might have been a bad metaphor for us. But I'm just saying.
I'd say you could have possibly gone with.
Okay, George's Clooney. Let's say you're watching Grey's Anatomy.
And his mother is having a 90th birthday party.
Yeah, and she. Yeah,
and we never see anything about the 90th birthday party.
yeah, that's okay, Ray. That you don't have to watch the whole 90th birthday party. Like,
True.
that shows eventually can stop going down the line. So the whole idea behind that episode of The Sopranos was that he says to her, "I'm not singing a song with you," and the point they were trying to get through was, "Oh, look how it affects the kids."
Yeah.
You know, look how parents
Okay.
squabbling affect
Okay.
the kids.
Okay.
But they don't have to go and
No,
show
they
her
don't.
like, but try and do Islands in the Stream and do two harmonies at once.
Anyway, the Sopranos were great.
That's the I must try and watch it because there is The Sopranos, The Wire. People keep telling me to watch The Wire.
The Breaking Bad.
I watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I only got halfway through it again. First of all, I got a couple episodes in and I was like, and then I got halfway through it and I was like,
You're not into it?
just not into drugs.
Are you dead inside?
the whole show is about drugs.
Everything's about drugs.
I really, no, but Tony Soprano, he doesn't like the selling blow on the old.
He wouldn't like to be sending the blow,
streets.
no.
No.
No blow.
No blow, Tony. That's
No
what you call
blow,
him.
Tony. Is
No
what they
blow,
call
Tony.
him. I mean, listen, would I be right in saying that if I watched The Sopranos, 30 to 35% of the scenes would be them sitting outside a cafe?
No, actually.
No.
No.
Oh, that was another stereotype I just
30
came
to
up with there.
35% would be him sitting in the psychiatrist. He going to a
Oh,
psychiatrist.
he goes to, yeah.
Yeah, and
£8 an hour.
that job.
Yeah.
And yeah, that relationship.
Okay.
Quite well set, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm going to...
He's a great man, though. He's the wife. He's the mistress.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I love that that's acceptable, by the
And
way.
she knows about the mistress.
Yeah, I really wish I
And the
was
mistress
Italian.
knows about the wife.
Yeah. That's really acceptable in old mafia.
There was no issue with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch ever the film...
Now, there's considerable sums of money, available to both the mistress and the wife, which makes it okay.
Yeah, like...
I think that's the only thing me and you are
so
missing.
I'd have to say, look, lovey,
Like,
you get the Tuesday gig in Lily's. Now
No.
I'm going to give you the Babes gig on the Wednesday.
Yeah. No. The point is, I think we could probably get away with this mistress crack.
Yeah.
If, our respective wives
Yeah.
were afforded the millions that they needed.
Yeah, in order
Yeah.
to forget about it.
Just not really think about it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's what happens. Did you ever watch a film called Goodfellas? Well, I think in Goodfellas, he was going with a woman and her sister.
Oh, yeah.
And he had her he got her a little flat. He did, like.
Yeah.
Because he had the pound to go get her a little
Yeah.
flat. I can't even get Nicola a flat.
I think the Russian one in The Sopranos, she has a little flat.
No,
A
so
lovely
that's the
little
thing.
room that Tony goes to when he wants to spend time with the
when
mistress.
when he's into spending a bit of time with
Yeah,
her.
a bit
now,
of chatting.
if that's not an incentive, though, for
and
fellas.
he'd bring her a boot.
A boot or what?
A
like?
boot, a Milano Blahnik.
A what? You're having a fit. Ray's taking a fit.
Milano Blahnik. Milan
does that
Blahnik.
mean?
It's a particular type of boot that would look to me like something that was a cow skin.
You mean like a boot, like a shoe?
Like a boot. Yeah, a shoe boot.
But like something she'd wear on her
Yeah.
foot, is what you
Yeah.
mean. Now, what I was going to say to you, if that's not an incentive for fellas, like, we're supposed
make money.
We're supposed to be looking after our families, and then, like, you never find it hard to go out and just go working because we're looking after our families. But
Yeah.
if we were told that,
most
no.
fellas can only look after the one family.
Yeah, but
That's the point.
if he was told you have to have goals in this world, right?
Yeah, true.
That's exactly what's wrong with people nowadays. You have to have a goal
Right.
in this, and there's no better incentive in the world than saying, you could ride a second woman and get away
I know,
with
but
it.
I don't think any
I'd
fella...
be working every night. Kendy's doing 3 gigs a night all of a sudden.
I don't think
How's it going,
fellas
fucks? Here we
set
go.
out with the idea to go...
Honestly,
just thinking of some
Kendy's. What time you start? 10
There's
in the
some
morning.
musicians around the town that are playing a lot of gigs and you wonder is that where they're going with it. But
I'm gigging every night. No, but that's the thing. If you knew, you'd be like, all right, okay.
I don't
but what
think
I mean
that's
is,
your primary goal. I think your primary goal is you just want to do good things in life and lose cash. And this is just
What?
a secondary incident. And all of a sudden, oh my God, I can have 2 to 3 wives.
I'm
here.
not going to lie, that's all I can think of
But
now.
that's
Ray.
sad, though.
It's become very primary in my head.
But if you go over like east at all, All of a sudden, religions change, cultures change, and multiple wives is very acceptable.
Yeah, so what is it about us then that we've decided that you can only have one? I know it's through religion.
Oh,
but
it's Christianity.
Yeah, it's Christianity.
Yeah.
But do you think that, so let's say if I said to Nicola, I'm going to get a second wife now, and the jealousy had burst out of her veins,
would, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you think that happens though in other cultures then?
You'd have to have big pound to offset the jealousy. And the only reason in other cultures...
that's it.
The only reason it works in other cultures is they have big religion.
So they believe that this is okay.
Well, look at you. Yeah. This is how it goes.
So would you say, oh fuck me, is that undermining the role of a woman, or is it boosting the role of a woman then?
What?
Because the woman doesn't get to decide. The husband says, because of our faith that we were born into,
Yeah.
I'm now going to have sex with 9 of you.
There's going to be you and 8 others.
There's going to be you and 8 others, and
Yeah.
you can't get jealous because God said you can't get jealous.
That's something along the lines, I believe, of how it
So
works.
is that undermining a woman's free thought? Or,
Oh yeah, but that's what you don't like. In fairness, that's the whole Western then thinking that women are equal to men and etc. etc.
Yeah. So are we better?
And equally, if women were making big pound, and like, say for example now Nicola was making huge pound,
Yeah.
involved in loads of illegal
there.
activities,
She
about
can
the
ride
time.
whoever she wants.
See, that's the thing.
I
You
wouldn't
don't
give a
mind
shit.
as long as you've loads of pound.
Right. Especially
I
at
think
my
men are
stage.
more amenable to this.
I think at my stage of life, I think men are, I think at my stage of life now, I've knocked a good few bits and pieces out of Nicola. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We've had some good times,
Yeah.
upstairs and downstairs. Do you know what I mean? We've had some good times abroad and at home.
Yes.
If she said, now, Mark, I'm going to give you...
If she said not tonight,
I'm trying to put a price on
No,
it.
never mind the price. Just tonight, she said, I'm going to see someone else.
Yeah,
you,
but
honestly, the jealousy would burst out here.
So I would say, Nicola, that we are faithful to each other.
Yes.
But she would have to follow it up with something like, do you want a Tesla? Or so, do you know what I mean?
But that's the question. How much would it stop the jealousy in you?
No, it has to be, I want a long contract here now, Ray. I need a long contract if I'm going to do this. To offset the jealousy, she would have to give me a 20-year contract of
A new Tesla every year.
$5,000 a week. If she could tell me $5,000 a week and I get to play PlayStation whenever I want,
That you don't have to work.
I don't have to work. Sure,
So
$5,000.
that thing. So yeah. So
That's not a lot of money.
So if she says to you, Mark, look it, I have big pound coming in from selling the cocaine
Yeah.
down the town.
But I want to get absolutely trounced by this.
Yeah, there's an old lad down the road there that I'm
Yeah.
really attracted to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
But I am going to offset the jealousy with you, and I'm going to give you $5,000 a week.
Yeah.
For the
So
rest of your
before
life.
she says that last sentence, I go, Nicola, you old yoke. You're an awful devil, I'd say to her. That's what I'd say to her.
That's what you say.
I'd say, Jays, you're an awful devil. And then she said $5,000, I'd say,
You'd
look,
have to be careful with your $5,000 though, because it's a bit like that national lottery thing that's going on at the minute. You hear the thing about €30,000 a month for the rest for 20 years or something.
what does that mean?
So if you win the national lottery now, they do give you 20. What is it? Is it €30,000 a month for 30 years? I think.
So you don't just get the money.
No, you don't get the money. They pay in installments.
What?
Yeah, that's the thing they're running now at the moment.
Are you telling me that if I win the lotto...
It's a different type of lotto.
Oh, right.
It's monthly millions or something.
Oh no! So if I win the 12 million Irish lotto, I get 12 million.
Yeah,
right?
you get 12 million. The normal Irish, but then there's another game you can play,
Right.
where you basically get
a salary lotto.
a salary lotto.
Are you
It's €30,000 a month for 30 years, something along the lines.
Do you know what? You'd nearly be better off with that. Now that I think about it, I blow it all on hookers straight away.
This is fair enough.
Can you get 12 million worth of hookers?
You can,
So how much? So let's think about this.
but you
30
remember
a month.
if you're getting the hookers, you're going to have to offset the jealousy. This is a bit like Minister Eamon Ryan coming back from Dubai for
this
the,
is
the
the-
vote.
are we
it's
not-
offsetting the carbon emissions?
Come here. Are we on an economics podcast here? Are we Dave McWilliams, but we're
think
just
this could
using
be-
the ride as
I think all of a sudden our surroundings have
have
influenced
made us
the
very
way-
economical. Yeah.
So you're saying there now, but the problem you have with 30,000, the salary lotto,
Yeah.
is that 30,000 in 30 years' time won't be worth 30,000 because of inflation.
Oh, so it'll only be worth it could be 60.
About 10 at the end.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like
Yeah.
you could be wanting 60
So you
grand.
actually don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's but surely inflation won't move that quick. So let's say if I'm 32 now, if I manage to live for another 40 years,
Yeah.
I don't think 30 grand in 40 years is going to be 120 grand.
Look at houses back when my parents were building.
Ray, I can't even afford to look at houses.
About 30,000.
You're telling me look at houses I can't even
They
afford.
were about 30, 40,000.
I think my parents paid 28 grand or something for the house.
Exactly. What's a house now up in the Dartry?
Oh my God, 440.
It's €4.5 million.
Yeah,
do you know?
It's crazy. It is crazy.
But that's inflation.
Yeah.
So that's why your 30 grand won't be worth it. So ladies and gentlemen, lesson learned. Unless you're really
don't
bad
even
money,
bother. So
don't go with the monthly millions. Go.
And even if you win it, just say it's all right. I wouldn't thank you for it. Actually, that's what Ray's trying to tell you. Do you know what? I don't think that's going to be worth it in 40 years.
For people though that aren't great with money, it means that you're well off for a while.
Yeah, so this is a fixed lasso. It's not a variable lasso at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we should have a variable lasso.
I was having fixed and variable conversations earlier.
Of course you were. You were trying to buy a chat.
Mortgage things.
Is that okay to ask? Did you get fixed or variable?
Oh well, you have to pick. I have a night to pick. You want to ring me?
So fixed is better.
Well, you don't know. It's crystal ball stuff. You're kind of going right. Fixed.
So your fixed mortgage could be 1,300 quid. Whereas mortgages could drop to 500.
At the moment, we'll say the variable is 1,000.
Okay.
Right? And the fixed is 1,100.
Okay. Not a big difference.
Not a big difference.
But that variable could drop to 500.
But the variable could drop to 500.
Or it could go to 2,000.
Or it could go to 2,000.
Yeah.
And then the fixed is a cashback thing they're doing.
Right.
So they give you like 6 grand cashback. So you're kind of going, well, Jesus. But the variable crashes altogether. We are gone into an economics podcast.
We are an economics podcast.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pick the one she said was best. So I'm
Right.
just going to go with that. She said go 2-year fixed and hope for the best.
So you're going 2-year fixed for now and then you can change it in 2 years?
I don't know. I think, no, in 2 years' time you fall off the edge of the cliff, and if the rates at that stage are like 10%, you're fucked.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
and you've
is
spent all the cashback money on the couch.
This is really good information though to know, because people just think, oh lovely, I got a mortgage and I'm delighted with that.
No,
there's huge risk involved.
That is massive. It's crystal ball stuff.
It is.
I am thinking of going to a fortune teller on it. And I'm here for one particular reason. I want you to take them tea leaves and tell me, am I going 2, 3 or 5 year fixed?
This is the smartest we've ever sounded on a podcast, right? Talking about economics, and then Ray just ruined it all by literally saying, I'm going to go to a fairy godmother.
Not a fairy godmother, a very well established psychic.
Yeah, but do you believe that stuff?
I think I do, yeah. I do, yeah, no, in fairness.
Do you?
Yeah, I do actually. Wow, that's really weird now.
That's a weird thing to admit, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm reflecting on my admitting of it there now.
Yeah, so do you believe that there's something in psychics?
I think there is, yeah.
Well, I believe physiotherapists are psychics. I've said that before.
What?
I went to a physiotherapist who told me the last week of my life perfectly.
No, you went to a physiotherapist who just said you look tired.
No.
You went, I am tired. And that was the end of it.
She nailed it on the head. I didn't think she's a physiotherapist at all. She was on the button, man. It was weird. It was like she was looking and reading a tarot card.
A tarot.
So I believe that physiotherapists are...
My mother, I think, used to say that she'd read tea leaves.
Right. I'd say... what?
Then again, she also used to say that she could cut hair, and that... I did a hairdressing course, she said. I was like, oh, you didn't. After what you did to my poor father.
The ball over the head job, is this?
Yeah.
Ray, I'm very aware that we do have to leave very, very soon. So
I have stuff.
I know, we haven't even talked. No, we do have to go very, very soon, though. But
what time do we have to go? For the love of God, can we talk about the stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to get on to your stuff. So I don't want to keep talking shit while you have actual stuff that you need to talk about.
I want to talk primarily
about
a pantomime I went to see on Sunday.
Right, Christmas season is in full swing.
I wouldn't have gone to many pantomimes.
Right.
And I think it's something you do when you get older.
Right.
Now, it wasn't that we had the kids to bring to a pantomime. My sister was in the pantomime. It was in Ballina.
Oh, Joanne.
Yeah. Or should I say any of this if I'm going to say anything about it? Why not?
Go on.
Yeah. So, Joanne she was playing the role of Snow White.
That's right.
In the Ballina Arts Centre.
Lovely.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah. She looked unbelievable.
She did. Now, there's an awful twist in it.
Go on.
It's not an awful twist. When I say awful twist, I'm reflecting on the fact that I use the word awful. I mean, you know the way
there's an unmerciful twist.
There's an unmerciful twist. Or, this is an awful day outside. No, that's worse again.
No, that's it, right. You could say something like, jeez, I was awful surprised.
I was awful surprised, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I was awful surprised at the
when I
twist.
won that fixed
I was awful surprised to find out I wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, serious twist in it. And I don't know, can I talk about twist? I can kind of allude to it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So, Snow White starts off, the usual crack. She's there. She catches the gaze of the prince. You know, the friends hanging around.
She catches the gaze and the prince, yes.
There was both, actually, in the play. But it was marvellous. All the kids are like, he's behind you. And they're going, oh, no, he isn't. Very argumentative show, truth be told.
Don't tell me he's behind me, you useless sack of 7-year-old shits. That's what it's like. The Snow White one.
But Snow White anyway.
You stupid 7-year-old man! You haven't even you haven't even gone through your junior infants yet. Talking to me like that, you shit.
20 minutes into it, Snow White takes a drink.
She does.
She thinks it's drinking chocolate. It's not. It's shrinking chocolate.
Oh, size of her.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
So
Do you have to go sit further back in the the back 20-year-olds know in them.
Snow White is then replaced by another actress who was considerably shorter than Joanne.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And then she's smaller.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Yeah. It's because she shrunk.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Like,
And
that's
now
a great idea.
some children cried.
Why?
What happened to Snow White? What happened to Snow White? And parents had to try and reassure, no, it's okay. It's like, it's all for the crack. And I'm just fascinated by the fact how children obviously take it so literally. They're looking at it going, what's after happening?
Yeah.
All the adults in the place are just laughing their arses off thinking this is hilarious.
Yeah,
this is one of the best shows we've ever gone to see.
Well, I was a victim of that a lot when I was a kid. Like, I've taken things too literally as well. Like, but I can imagine when the smaller one came out. Like,
yeah, and I have a colleague at work that her daughter got considerably upset at the situation, whatever happened to Snow White.
Yeah,
and only that she met my sister Joanne, who played the first Snow White, outside, and she met the second Snow White.
Dead, like.
Yeah, she honestly thought that was it. She thought she was shrunk.
Yeah,
so thought that was the end of Joanne. Joanne was still there, but Joanne is obviously smaller.
So, I love how literally, like, you could really mess with kids, like, in some of these pantomimes.
It's crazy.
Like, imagine if you were like, oh my God, poor Snow White, she's caught up in a little fire, like, and then actually have Joanne, like, coming out, like, wow, and flames all over. Yeah, and fall into the crowd, and people have to stamp her out. Actually, make the kids get involved in it, stamping her out, like, please, no, please.
Yeah, hand out free fire extinguishers.
Yeah, and then she's like,
bring in a fire safety element in it.
Why not bring in a fire safety element? I mean, it's pantomime. You're supposed to.
At a complete aside, I got an email this evening at work saying, please stay away from the canteen, there was a small fire. Just as you wanted. At least I was working from home.
I love the way they call it a small fire.
Small fire. It was only a small fire.
Only a small fire. Don't worry about it. Like,
I haven't heard from a lot of my colleagues in work. But no, the main thing about this one wasn't so this was what happened in the first half of the pantomime.
Right.
So Snow White shrunk. And then I went out on the break. Now, this is 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon. We're at Pantomime in Ballina Arts Centre. And I was standing there queuing up to buy more chocolate and more tea for myself and Laura and my lovely mother-in-law, Suzanne.
That's right.
And I noticed a man in the corner of my eye with a pint of Heineken.
Right.
And I looked at him and I went,
2:30 in the day.
Where did you get that?
Excuse me.
And he said, it's a full bar. I went, excuse me, please.
I've been buying chocolate and
I bought chocolate and tea before I went in, and you're telling me I could have got pint.
You could have got out of it.
I went up then and can I get a pint of Guinness? They served me the most beautiful, creamy pint of Guinness that a man could ever. I was so happy going back in. 10 minutes into the second half, I was out of it.
This load of shite.
Oh, and it's amazing how the crowd.
Bring back the big Snow White. You're useless. This little Yoki is useless.
And then there was 8 dwarves, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, are they allowed to call them dwarves in this one? That's funny, actually, that you don't know. I mean, they are dwarves.
Actually, like. I don't think they did call them dwarves in this one.
Why would there 8 of them?
Well, I don't know why there was 8 of them.
There was a new one.
No.
Offended. There was 7, there was the normal 7 dwarves, grumpy, sleepy, snoozy, nicey, and then the last one is offended dwarf.
Offended dwarf.
Yeah, who said, excuse me.
I don't think they could call them the normal, they were not dwarves, they were minors, we'll call them, because none of them were small. So, I mean, it wasn't like they were playing to,
No, I don't.
Look, politically correct wise, considering Snow White had shrunk, obviously then they're not dwarves, look, it's a lot to deal with. But you had Giggles.
Okay. All right, okay, that's
Giggles
not real.
was one of them.
Okay.
There was another one, then Flirty.
Right, dirty.
Flirty was a guy looked like Pat Mustard, and he's just chatting to how are you doing to the girls in the crowd. There was the blind one. They had a grumpy. They had a doctor, but she was an intern.
Dr. Dwarf.
That's the 8th dwarf.
What?
That wasn't a dwarf.
A doctor.
She was an intern. Yeah.
So are they trying to put they have professions too?
Enoch Burke was in it at one stage.
What?
And he had a piece of paper sellotaped to the back of his jacket saying Mountjoy Day Release. And he was reading the kids' Bible book and he was standing in the bush top.
I mean, isn't it amazing in a weird way that that's okay to make fun of?
Yeah.
But you can't say that they were dwarves, like, when dwarves are a real thing, like.
They are, very much a real thing,
But Enoch Burke is perfectly okay to be like, how are you? This is him reading the Bible here now, lads. which I'm all for as well because he's a bit of a idiot.
I enjoyed it anyway. It was marvellous.
I have never been to a pantomime.
You
in my
should
life.
go.
No, because they scare me.
I'd actually nearly bring you next weekend if there were 2 tickets available, and I know it's sold out. Ballinard Centre of Pantomime, it's sold out. Even Joanne's husband forgot to buy a ticket,
and he can't go now.
And lucky he got one.
Right,
so he wouldn't have been forgiven otherwise.
Jesus,
yeah. But so if we can get 2 tickets off them,
I've never gone
for this unashamedly plug.
Yeah, no, but I've never gone to one of those before.
You'd love it,
and I do. Like, I'd get big into it if they were like, "He's behind you." I'd be like, "He is a be arse behind me."
You'd be very good in the pantomime.
I should do it actually. So, no, because I wouldn't be able to hold myself back from some of the ad lib stuff. Like, I'd love if at a pantomime like to really mess with people. If I'm like, "Where is he? He's behind you," and I'd be like, "No, he's not," and then I'd say to one mother in the crowd like, "Check your pockets," as if we dropped something into her pocket, and then never addressed it ever again. She'd be like, "What the fuck is supposed to be in my pocket?" You know,
you should do pantomime.
Yeah, I'd actually love to do pantomime. Sorry, no, Ray, come on. Is there anything else that you need to get on to now in the meantime?
Yeah, I met 2 people on Friday night.
Right.
I just want to give them. I want to address them.
Shout out.
One of them is a shout out.
Right.
The other one isn't.
Okay, good.
The first one is I met a quintessential Donegal man on Friday night.
Right. Okay. What are they like?
Oh God.
Tough work.
Oh my God.
Is it hard to understand them?
No, it's not that.
Go on.
It's the fact that at all times that they're trying to be hilarious. And it's awful tiresome.
Do I know this fella?
No, you don't. I've never met this fella before.
Good.
He just arrived up and he was just, "How you doing? I'm from Donegal, so I am."
Yeah, you need to have about 3 Red Bulls to meet this fella.
The energy was very high, and I wasn't ready for him.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Ha ha! It's very cold, isn't it? Ha!"
Yeah, that's
and you're
tough.
going, "Oh God, stop it now, please, come down from there."
How long does it take? You really want someone to come and meet you somewhere in the middle.
You just want a small bit of, like the world is weathered. It's like the world hadn't weathered this man.
Yeah.
He hadn't the shite kicked out of him enough in school.
That is so true. You know when you're working on something, Ray, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's amazing to see. But let's say if I was doing a gig or I saw someone at a gig and it was like a young person starting out.
Yes.
I always say they always do a class gig, 2 hours, belter, all song after song, boom, 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 and I always go, they haven't gigged enough where they're going to go, "Oh jeez, I can't wait to get through this 2 hours." They're delighted, which is great because we're all cynical bastards now, just landing and going, "Oh,
it's exuberance."
The exuberance. But you always end up looking at them going, I give it a year.
Weatherment.
I give it a year of trying to do that.
You were filling in with Blue Moose there.
Faith, and I was filling in with Blue Moose.
Have they still got the exuberance?
Oh yeah, so that's the other thing as well. When you're actually that good and professional at it, it's not that you have to overdo any of that stuff.
You're just very good at it.
So when you gig with a band like Blue Moose, right?
Yeah. Top number 1
to which I am able to do now.
Yeah, I was
but I mean this.
Jealous.
No, I mean this. Yeah, well, you'll never get a call for that kind. I told you retired.
I used to get a call.
Yeah, but you retired.
But then I retired.
Yeah, you retired.
I used to be the guy that called.
Yeah,
then I asked you to do 1 gig
ever,
and now I get none.
No, you're retired.
I'm retired.
I retired.
You retired me.
No, the one thing I'd say about bands like Blue Moose, and there's loads of them out there. You have your Blue Moose, your Guerrilla Radio, your 65s, all of them, Hot Fuzz, all of them.
Hi-Fi.
There's Hi-Fi. There's a thing that happens when you're doing a gig like that. Nobody is overexerting themselves because they have confidence in the set and what they're able to do with us.
Yeah, true.
Here's a thing that happens to some wedding bands. I have filled in with wedding bands so much, right? And this isn't picking any out or not out.
You'd be an expert now.
But what happens with wedding bands, let's say if a floor empties for a second, they play the next song 50 times faster than... Whereas when you gig with a band like Blue Moose, everything is exactly where it should be.
They know they'll come back.
But no one left the floor because everything was played exactly as it should be anyway.
Okay.
But you just knew that if the floor was to empty for even a second, just as people went to a bar or something, they'd still keep ticking because they know.
They know it.
We're going to catch them back up again here, and it's so good to play with a band like that. They were brilliant. I have to say, if you're looking at weddings,
did you wear any colour?
We wore black, which was great. Suited me down to the ground. Why did you say that?
I'm just wondering.
That's the weirdest question you've ever asked me.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I'd
love to see a colourful wedding band.
Fuck, no.
You don't see colourful wedding
Well,
bands.
have you ever seen the band? There's a wedding band called Switch, and they all wear red suits.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, that's nice.
Oh, what do you mean by colourful?
Just check a random old yellow, like birdcage, yellow. I'll move on.
I thought you meant like a diverse wedding band. Like any colour is all whites.
The shout outs, it was a gentleman called John and his two amigo friends.
Right.
And they're
amigo friends rather than just friends.
Boys. He looked very uncanny resemblance to me, actually. He's a very beautiful man.
Oh,
and he
must be
landed
gorgeous.
over, him and two friends were down to some macro thing, and they said that give us an old shout out.
Well, fair play to you,
no
boys.
bother at all. And
Yeah.
they were shouting around the town. I had something else to talk about but I've forgotten it.
You sound like you don't want to tell me something about them.
No,
like,
I had something else. It was something else that they wanted to. Anyway, look at.
We'll get to it.
Do you remember? And I know these are only small little bits.
Go on now, yeah.
Do you remember I told you before about a lady on TikTok that dressed up?
Yeah.
Her name is Myra, Myra
Right.
Magdalene.
Myra Magdalene.
Myra Magdalene, right? I just lying in the bed last night watching a TikTok with herself, and next thing she came up on Laura's phone.
Go on.
Right? This occasion she had a little plaid skirt. Do you know one of them little kind of skirts? They're like a Scottish skirt, but for a girl.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she had
Like a school skirt.
Yeah, and then she had like a little tea towel with a picture of a duck on it. Right? She stuck the picture of the duck tea towel on the front of the skirt.
I thought you were going to say something. She stuck the duck up the...
Then she had other... Do you remember those plastic ducks that used to be around?
Yeah.
She had,
Don't say anything about these plastic songs. My house is full of them.
Are they?
Yeah, because I got a baby.
What? Oh, no, I don't mean them. I mean the ones you used to have in older houses in Ireland where they'd have a plastic duck about the size of a duck that looked like a duck, but it was a plastic duck.
It walks like a duck.
Talks like a duck.
It's a plastic duck.
No, but a plastic duck, like.
Are you sure it wasn't a ceramic duck?
Do you not remember plastic ducks? Am I that old that no one else remembers plastic? Anyway,
I have never.
So can you imagine a duck, but then imagine it's plastic? And it looks exactly like a duck.
Okay, Jesus, I'm really hard to use my imagination here now, yeah.
Right, so she had 4 or 5 of these, and she tied a little ribbon around each of their necks, and then she stuck these ducks onto her outfit. She had a little cardigan on as well. And then she had a duck headband, which was basically a headband with a duck on top of it, stuck to it. And then she also had a duck necklace, which was a little teddy bear duck that was on a necklace. And that was her outfit. And I said to Laura, I have to tell Mark about this because this is... The world has gone mad.
Do you think I think the world has gone mad?
I think that's what a wedding band should wear tonight. I think if you remember the wedding band, they were all dressed with big plastic ducks stuck to their shirts.
I'm all into free expression, Ray. I mean, I once wore a hat one time.
You did. We all remember that.
You know, we all remember the big hat incident.
Yeah.
Actually, Orla said that to me when I was in the pub last. She said...
I thought the hat suited you.
She said, Jesus, like there was some... She said to me, oh, you're dressed all in black. I said, yeah, well, ever since the hat incident of 2023, I can't.
It was a hat and a short now. In fairness, the hat probably wouldn't have been as noticeable if you weren't wearing the little boy short as well.
But all I'm saying is I wear that, like...
Yeah.
But then there's flutes. But, okay, I'm all into free expression, Ray, and all. But let's say that woman, she can't be forcing that on me now.
Do you remember...
If I meet her in public, I should be allowed to say to her, you look ducking ridiculous.
Do you remember the little maps, the little toy car things you used to have? There were little mats that you could drew your toy car.
Yeah.
She also had an outfit with that.
Okay.
Where she stuck the toy cars on the roads and the different things. Would you wear something like that on a night out?
No, like did Farah? Is there any Farah kind of maybe a bit of Remus or something?
No.
Like why are they all wearing stupid shit like this?
But the question is, would you do it? I wonder how far I could push you on an outfit experience.
No, you wouldn't.
And in public.
I
know you're very conservative.
I wore a coloured t-shirt today.
You did. It was white.
It's white, like but it's not black.
No, it probably was. Well, it's not. It's not white either. It's obviously been washed.
No, it's not.
With
It's
black
supposed to be like a blue, like.
Oh,
Do you know what I
it's
mean?
Farah. Is the shirt Farah as well?
Shut up now for a second. No, it's not actually.
Where's
it's not.
the shirt from?
I haven't a clue. It's just a denim shirt, like.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I haven't a clue, man, but it's expensive now.
225.
Yeah, that's 225. I have to just finish with this girl. You're allowed to wear whatever you want, but you can't. It's like the hairy armpit thing, Ray. It's like the hairy armpit thing.
What's wrong with the hairy
You're
armpits?
allowed to have hairy armpits if you're a Bure. Of course you are.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
You just don't like them.
I am going to be like, oh, that's rotten.
What would you do if Nicola had hairy armpits?
No, I'd say to her, do you think that's rotten?
I know, but
I wouldn't.
But then you'd have to accept it and move on.
No, you don't have to accept nothing in this day and age.
You can't be telling your wife to shave her armpits.
Yes,
that is not a line that any man has ever said to his wife.
But you are allowed to say that, though.
You're not.
Because she's allowed to say it to me, to say to
she
your
can
balls.
take half.
If Nicola's allowed to be... If Nicola's allowed to say to me, the head in your balls...
Would you spend much during the week manscaping?
No, I don't. No, it's not. But a friend...
Is it just like a fern?
A friend once said to me... It's like a head of cabbage. A friend once said to me... all it takes is a little bit of basic upkeep.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do every so often.
Keep
you know
the
what I mean?
definition and things.
You don't have to be going out like doing the hedges every year, because if you do them once every 2 or 3 months,
Yeah.
then it won't really feel like you're doing much of them at all.
Yeah.
Do you know this spruce sprinkling stuff that people do when they redo the whole garden?
Oh, yeah.
Just keep an eye on the garden all year round.
Yeah.
And then you won't, you know. And that's the same for men and women. That's what I'm saying, though. If I walk around this town, Ray, with a big old pair of old hairy old saggy old balls,
It'll be itchy
right?
to start with.
And then, well, first of all, it'll be itchy. But if women are like, "Oh, that's rotten," see the big old hairy old
But
saggy
what
old
woman
balls.
will be looking at you?
No, but I mean, I know I'm using my balls as an example, Ray. Let me use my balls, please, just for 1 second. Let's say if it was acceptable to
for a
walk around
second.
with big old hairy old balls hanging out, Ray.
Yeah, okay. Hanging out.
Stop making me say it. I have a big old pair of old hairy old saggy old balls, right?
I understand what you're
And
saying.
if a woman says, "Oh, I'm not into that, I wish she was shaved," that's okay. I'd be like, "Yeah, I know. I probably should keep an eye on it." Like if women are into that kind of thing.
Right.
Fellas don't like big old hairy old balls. Women.
No.
Listen, I have to finish up. Listen, we don't know if we're going to be here again. We just said we'd test this out for the boys because they were mad to
See
test
what
it
it
out as
sounds
well.
like,
Sorry again to any Patreon users. The computer is back. James is using it right now. He can confirm it's working. I hope anyway, or else this isn't going out either. And don't forget, live show on the 28th of December, 8 o'clock in Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre. It is a deluxe extravaganza Christmas episode
Edition.
And a big shout out to James doing all of his stuff. And Ray, fair play to me.
Fair play to me.
Good luck.
Good luck.
The Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre and Wonderful Food Items and Maeve's Cozy Front Lounge.